Get in your circle. Get in your circle. Oh God. Neon. It's unnecessary.
It's not today. You get in the middle and do what work today.
Okay, hold on. Everybody have a seat. Get in the circle. You take attendance real fast. Go ahead and get your stories out. We're going to start where we left off yesterday. All right, Brayden. Okay, so who got it signed? Okay, raise your hand, throw it up in the air. If you got it signed. Yeah. Or no, actually that was the day before, but that's okay. I'll give you your credit anyway, okay? Okay. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Everybody have their story out? Okay. That's an interesting desk in the middle. We've never had a desk in the middle. Who is that for?
Me.
Somebody special gets to sit here today, huh?
Me.
Okay. Okay, that's okay. All right, so I want to start off today talking a little bit about where we left off. And I want to just kind of hear your all's thoughts so far and tell me what you think is the theme that is developing in this story. Brayden? Okay, don't be a bully. Who else? Jariah?
Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Okay, treat people the way you want to be treated. Okay, that's a good one. Elijah?
Don't get mad at somebody if they know something.
Okay. So don't get mad at someone if they know something that you, so you're talking about jealousy. Right, okay, good. I like the way you worded that. That was interesting. I mean, I had to process it, but I liked it. Who else? Cameron? Okay, don't judge a book by its cover. Okay, all of these are really good. Now, with that being said, who wants to throw out some evidence here of why you feel that way? Tell me what's going on in the story that made you think these things. Tion? Okay, so when they locked Margot in the closet, okay. Jariah?
Like, when I kept picking on the girl because of her skin color, and that like she already had to see the sun because she used to live on Carter.
Okay, so when William was picking on her. Good, okay. Josh?
Seems like everybody's mad at Margot because she just came from Earth 5 years ago and she would have to see the sun more and they didn't.
Okay, absolutely. So that is, what theme is that developing there? The idea of what, like Elijah said, now put it in your words.
Basically, they don't like her and they're jealous because she got to see the sun more and they didn't.
Okay, good. So the jealousy thing, the envy. Okay, you guys know that word envy? Anybody know the word envy? Who wants to tell me what envy means? It's a new word? Envy? To be envious? Like jealous, but okay. When you're envious of someone, you kind of want what they have, right? So there's a lot of that going on in the story as well, okay? Okay, who wants to tell me where we stopped off, where we ended yesterday? I know where we ended yesterday, but who wants to tell me? Did anybody else mark it?
Right here. We talked about
Elijah?
They're about like where they were talking about the sun lamps.
Okay. I think we're a little bit farther than that. That's right. Which one?
the
That
children.
new word tumultuously?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so if you'll turn for me to the third page, so it's first and then the second's on the back, then the third, so it should basically be where your annotation stopped yesterday. Okay? Everybody find where we are? Look where it says, the children lay out
Yeah.
laughing on the jungle mattress. You see that? Okay, and so what was just happening? Anybody want to tell me what was happening when we stopped? Dariah, go ahead.
They walked in the closet.
Okay, but where were we right when we stopped, Haley?
They were outside.
Okay, good. So they say, oh, it's better than the sun lamps, isn't it? And we find out that they have to use sun lamps to get what vitamin did we talk about? Vitamin D, good. And we talked about this figurative language and this imagery right when we were leaving off yesterday. And what was it about the octopi, right? And Josh, you told us, what did you tell us about what that really meant?
It's like covered in vines and like overgrown.
Good. So when they say it was a nest of octopi, clustering up great arms of flesh-like weed, okay, they're saying what Josh just told us. It's a bunch of crazy vines in the jungle, every which way, okay, and so they use that figurative language there. All right, all of that metaphor. And then at the end, go ahead and let's start here. It was the color of stones. Okay, is everybody with me? Okay, so your pencils need to be out, right? Because you're about to finish annotating this story for your third close read. Good. Well, we'll wait. We'll wait for your pencils. Henry, you need one? All right, we ready? Everybody with me? It was the color of stones and white cheeses. And ink, and it was the color of the moon. Okay. The children lay out, we hear, laughing on the jungle mattress and heard it sigh and squeak under them, resilient and alive. Circle that word resilient. All right. I thought we talked about this yesterday, did we? I must have heard that word in another class. So what does that word resilient mean? And when do we hear that word most often?
Yeah.
You've never heard it? Okay. Cameron? Okay, good guess. That's a really good guess. Josh, what do you think?
They say for them like alive or like feels alive.
Okay, so you guys are close. Let me just go ahead and kind of give you an example. So resilient. Everybody say resilient.
Resilient.
Okay. When a baby is born, okay, and they're 6 months old and they start crawling or rolling around, and say one of them bumps their head and they cry and there's a big goose egg, okay, we like to say, well, babies are resilient. Okay, their little bodies are made to just come back to be totally okay. Okay, when I come to work every single day and my baby goes to daycare and he's not with his mom, it's okay because babies are resilient, right? It's not going to hurt him so bad. Okay, so that word just kind of means, we're resilient. People are resilient. All right, we have little trials and errors all the time, but we're resilient. We fight through them, and we move on with life. Okay, so when something is resilient, then it just keeps on living, right? And so you kind of see that here where it squeaks under them, resilient and alive. Okay, so you use your context clues for that as well. Here we go. They ran among the trees. They slipped and fell. They pushed each other. They played hide and seek and tag. But most of all, they squinted at the sun until the tears ran down their faces. They put their hands up to that yellowness and that amazing blueness, and they breathed of the fresh air and listened to the silence which suspended them in a blessed sea of no sound and no motion. They looked at everything and savored everything. Then, wildly, like animals escaped from their caves, they ran and ran in shouting circles. So there's that word wildly again. You want to underline that. Okay? What other word have we seen that had that same connotation? Savagely. Good. Okay? They ran for an hour and did not stop running. And then, in the midst of their running, one of the girls wailed. What'd she do? What does that mean? She cried out, right? Everyone stopped. The girl, standing in the open, held out her hand. Oh, look, she said, trembling. They came slowly to look at her open palm. In the center of it, cupped and huge, was a single raindrop. She began to cry. Looking at it, they glanced quietly at the sun. Braden, follow along. Oh, a few cold drops fell on their noses and their cheeks and their mouths. The sun faded behind a stir of mist. A wind blew cold around them. They turned and started to walk back toward the underground house, their hands at their sides, their smiles vanishing away. A boom of thunder startled them, and like leaves before a new hurricane, they tumbled upon each other and ran. Lightning struck 10 miles away, 5 miles away, a mile, a half mile. What's that demonstrating? That it's getting closer. Good. The sky darkened into midnight in a flash. They stood in the doorway of the underground for a moment until it was raining hard. Then they closed the door and heard the gigantic sound of the rain falling in tons and avalanches everywhere and forever. Will it be 7 more years? Yes, 7. Then one of them gave a little cry. This is important. Margot! What? She's still in the closet where we locked her. Margot! They stood as if someone had driven them like so many stakes into the floor. They looked at each other and then looked away. They glanced out at the world that was raining now and raining steadily. They could not meet each other's glances. Their faces were solemn and pale. They looked at their hands and feet, their faces down. Margot, one of the girls said, well, no one moved. Go on, whispered the girl. They walked slowly down the hall in the sound of cold rain. They turned through the doorway to the room in the sound of the storm and thunder, lightning on their faces, blue and terrible. They walked over to the closet door slowly and stood by it. Behind the closet door was only silence. They unlocked the door even more slowly and let Margot out. Okay. Oh, I love, what did you just say? Say that a little bit louder. Okay, so Drina says she wishes it had a better ending. How many of you wish that? Okay, because that just kind of left us hanging, right? Hey, what do you think about the kids here at the end? What do you think, Cameron?
I think like Dry said, they probably like feel bad and bad mistake because she didn't even get to see it.
So are they human after all?
Yes.
Okay, Josh?
Maybe it sounded like they didn't want a boy or something. They just didn't like the way that, or like she didn't fit in right.
Okay. Okay. Who else? What does it mean, okay, when it says all of this at the bottom here is just the girls. The girls are saying, well, the girls are like, she's still in the closet. Okay, it's all the girls. Okay, what is this saying about the difference between female and male, even? Brayden?
That like females are like more rude, like those kind of.
Okay, well, they use those words savagely and wildly. Okay,
Everyone
hey, and it's right. Everybody has their emotions, and we're talking about these 9-year-olds, right? And so, it wasn't too long ago when you were 9, and I want you to just kind of remember how things were then. Okay, so it's the author has kind of let us down. Okay, you should feel a little bit of a letdown here. And so, what I want you all to do today is the following. You are going to go ahead and get out a piece of paper for me. Okay? Go ahead and get out a piece of paper. Okay. You are going to look at your learning target. It's okay. Okay, so let's look at our learning target. We will analyze how a story's form or structure contributes to its meaning. Okay, now we have done this several times with all the stories that we've read, where we talked about the theme. You guys showed me textual evidence of how that theme was developed. Okay, but now I want to just take it a little step further. Okay, I want you to think about the structure, okay, and the what has happened in the story that contributes to its overall meaning. Now, we talked about this idea of envy. We talked about the idea of jealousy. Okay, so you all have seen this theme develop. Okay, so now let's go a little bit further. I want you I'm going to give you the person next to you. Okay, and you all are going to work with a group, and you're going to write a script that changes the ending to All Summer in a Day. All right? So, what would have to change in the story, in the ending, to make you all happier as the reader? Okay? I want you to be creative with this, okay? And just write a little script. What's a script? Tell me what a script is. Let's just clarify. Elijah?
something like a short little story.
So it's like a short story, but what is it? Dialogue. Good word, Cameron. Okay, so we're going to use dialogue, and we're going to change the ending of the story. Now, you can also have a narrator as a piece of dialogue. So your narrator, and then your characters, which is going to be a character from where? From the story. Okay. But here's the thing. I'm going to give you a choice. All right. So here's your second option. You can conduct an interview with a character that would prevent Margot from missing out. So let me tell you what that means. So if the teacher had intervened, okay, make sure you're listening so I don't have to repeat it. If the teacher had intervened before Margot had been put in the closet, okay, how many of you guys have had to have a teacher or staff member or somebody kind of intervene? You know what intervene means? Like kind of get involved, okay, with something before something happened to a student or one of your friends. Okay, so several of us. Okay, so what I want you to do if you choose that one is to do an interview. And so it kind of looks like dialogue, right? Except one of you is the interviewer and one of you is who? Or
The teacher.
Or the character.
or any character, right? Okay, so and the interviewer could also be the teacher. Okay? So who would we have to intervene with? And then I want you to just kind of, while you're doing this, think about how the entire story would change if somebody had intervened and Margot had never been left in the closet, or if the ending was different. Maybe they got her out. Maybe somebody went over and got her. Maybe she passed out in the closet and I don't know where you're going with that, but okay.
She got up in the closet. Walked in the closet. She got loud. And then started screaming.
Okay, but you want to think about how it can be, maybe have a happier ending. Okay, so you might want to start with right before she gets to the closet and dialogue and write your script after that point. Okay, and then we're gonna look at how that changes. Just that one piece of the story will change the entire outcome for the reader, which is who? Us, right? Okay. So, any questions about this? Kaylee?
Like, if we pick like one of the girls to be like the character or something that like got around in the closet before they come in,
Perfect.
could we like name that character?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Because what would happen if you intervened with William?
He was like, funny.
But listen, the trick here is, what would you say to him? Guys, what would you all say? All right, this is really those real life skills that you would need on that choice, okay?
I was telling him, you're not going to
Okay. All right, so you're going to turn to your partner, turn and talk to your partner, get out one sheet of paper, put both of your names on it, okay? If you guys need to use the classroom space to help you with this, okay, so that you can act it out, because I would like for us to present what we have written. Are y'all listening? Are y'all listening? I'd like for you to present what we have done tomorrow in class, okay? And then we will finish all summer in a day, and we can possibly get another story in before the 6 weeks over, okay? All right, get to work. Okay, if you all want to use some class space, you can, okay? Yes, the person to, it'll be, look guys, here, 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 you, the two of you. Okay, you guys are, it's okay if you do groups of 3 too, if you ladies want to do that. That's fine. Drea, you want to, what, 2 and 2?
Is it okay if we do it?
That's fine. What if I let the 4 of you work together, you think you can come up with something really awesome? Okay. Yes, ma'am. All right, take your agenda, please. Take your agenda. Hold on, you ask every day. Let's let them go too. Now, if you guys want to spread out, we don't have to stay in our circle for this. Okay, I want to see some good work. Let's go. Okay, make sure that you are ready to present these tomorrow.
Is it okay if we all put our names on one paper?
Yes, that's what I want you to do.
Okay, so we just need one. Wait, move it there.
Haley, what are you doing? But you want me to get to work, so let's get busy. Right, okay, so you guys are gonna come over here. Okay. Yes, sir. Make sure everybody's, wait, what's going on? You guys are a group, right? And then you're a different group. So you all need to get your own workspace, okay? You get your own workspace. Brayden, you know that. Cameron, you know that. Get your own workspace. Yes, okay. You all come up with these questions together, and then you can pretend to be that answer, and then you all answer. Okay, but yes, but then I need you to get to work. Okay, don't waste any time. All right, we have plenty of time. That's good. What is it? Like she finds her voice. She finds her voice and like she just like comes out of her shell and everybody's like, who is this new Margot? And you all can write that script. Okay. Good. Work it out with each other, okay? Because you all need to be collaborating on this script, okay? All right? You be creative. You guys are so quiet today. You would have an ugly name. Oh. You know, it's interesting because usually when an author writes a story, their name will end up meaning something, and they choose that name on purpose. So I wonder what William means since he was so hateful.
What's his name?
No, I want y'all to. I want you to make them live. I want this to happen. Yes. Sure. Yeah, the principal, so you're gonna create that new character. Say, bring the principal in. So then you have to kind of let us see that character. Good. Okay, what's going on here? Y'all should be getting to work here.
Exactly. I can come to my kids.
Handle it. Separate. Okay, so let's really get those ideas generated. Yeah, but how would that change the whole story? And that's what you kind of are looking for. What, you're looking for that element of what would happen. Oh, so the teacher finds out.
Yeah. And I want them to keep it. That's very rude.
Listen, go back in the story. Okay, and figure out where you're gonna leave off, okay? And then write your script, okay? Okay. So do all three. Oh, to get the different perspective. Ooh. Wait, did y'all just hear what I just said?
No.
Sure. She just said. Go ahead. To get all three perspectives, but who's gonna be doing the intervention?
I want to do it because they do. I'm
No,
like,
it has to be
I know you did it.
It has to be a character. The principal, okay. So you're gonna create this new character, the
I'm
principal.
like, I know you did it. I know you did it.
Okay. Okay, let's start getting your ideas written down, start getting the script down, or the intervention, whatever one y'all are gonna choose. Okay, and your ideas sound really good.
So I'm gonna be the principal. Y'all be gonna be the girls. I know you did it. So the principal.
Okay, so now what's gonna happen, that's gonna change the story so that it kind of has a different meaning. So it would be like a happier, right? It's really disappointed at the end. The author leaves us hanging. Margot just freaks out. She's shocked, right? But is it not heartbreaking that she's it's kind of heartbreaking, right? These kids are trapped for 7 years until something she will ever see the sun again. Okay? So it's really what could have changed? What could William have said? What could the teacher have said maybe? Where was the teacher? You know? That's what y'all want to think about. how can we make this meeting a happy? Okay.
Miss Kelly.
So look, I'm okay with you adding one new character. I'm not gonna say that I think it's a good idea for you all to add a bunch of new characters. Just one principal. So you're saying that if the principal had come in and intervened here,
To get some right before the principal.
okay. So I want you all to just do. I don't want to stifle your creativity. So I want you to do what your ideas are as a collaborative group here, and I don't want to stifle that, but make sure that you're answering the question that I proposed. Okay, so make sure that you are sticking to the topic, right? Okay, good. Yes, ma'am.
Like a display.
Right, so that's what you want to do. So you want to try to exactly. And then right here, you'll put the next person that's on. Right here, you'll and the narrator can also be talking.
No,
So you would have narrator.
the stage direction. There's
Exactly.
You do that.
Yeah, so the narrator is going to say all the things that you all need said, that is not just between the characters talking. Okay. I got it. So that you could be, just do what I want to do. J. L. Okay. Trey, you need to go right back. Okay, let me see. Okay. So what are your next questions? What's the next step here? Think about how you're going to change, you're giving an intervention. You're saying, look, William, this is what you did. What in saying that you're getting ready to have a big conflict with somebody in the hallway after first period. But say that right before that, the teacher comes up to you and says, hey, Cameron, I noticed something's going on. Can we talk about this? And then what is that talk? What does that talk look like? And how does that change what happens after first period? That's what you're doing with William here. That's what you want to do with William. Now, it doesn't have to be a teacher. It could be another student. What if a student stood up and said, hey, this is wrong. Okay, what would that look like? That's what I want you to think of. And create that so that the whole story, the meaning of the whole story changes. Instead of the being like jealousy and being root of all evil or something like that. You're gonna say, okay, but this is what happened, and then the theme completely changes. Right? Because of your intervention that happened on William or whoever else, that somebody changed. Okay, then the whole thing changes. Right? Yeah, but you all need to really think about what that looks like and then write it on the paper. Okay? Discuss it. Just think about it. Talk about it.
Oh, that was like
Let's keep going. Okay, make sure you can role play this at your desk so that when you get ready to show us as a class, you can make sure it makes sense, okay? Okay. Excuse me. Is there an issue? You all okay? Let's get some stuff done. Are you all just like thinking about it? Okay. What's your goal? Okay. Okay. All right. Well, let's get it done. Hey guys, make sure that you're not spending so much time just like thinking about this. Like, go ahead and start writing it down. Okay. Let your thoughts just come on out onto the paper. All right. You have your good ideas. Now just put them into words. I know. All right, we're not gonna use. Oh, Miss Key, okay. It sounds like you're saying Miss Piggy.
I miss like I'm always saying period. Miss P.
Okay. 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 Miss P is a principal. Okay. Now, why don't y'all act it out for me? Show me what it sounds like. All right. And listen, that's how you guys are gonna. That's how you're gonna want to check what you've written. Is just say it out loud to each other. Okay. 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 Go ahead. Okay. Oh my God, y'all are so thick. Really, Julia?
Can I open this?
Okay. No, you don't need to open that. I thought, come on. Say I've never seen them this quiet. I was like, okay, great. They're like so interactive, but I mean, they still are. Try it. Are you? Oh, it's screening. Okay.
No, all the kids are kids. I just
That's why I told y'all to get your own workspace so that y'all can kind of act it out and then write it down, whatever you want to do. Okay, I'll be back around.
We do a script.
And then, yeah, so the interview is kind of a script. It's the interview, they're still talking, right? So one person says something, and then the other person adds the answer, right? And then maybe the other person makes a comment about it, right? So, okay.
What is it?
Okay. Okay, make sure, hey guys, okay, I'm glad that you're having a good time with this, but make sure that we're actually getting it
She
done.
looks so sick.
Okay, you have 10 minutes and you're gonna present tomorrow, so, all right?
What kind of person? I'm not gonna be here tomorrow.
Okay, well, you're gonna present when you get back then.
Like, okay,
So you guys introduce each other, so the reader knows who it is, right? Instead of saying Mrs. Paulson, which I really like that because that's like the dialogue, you can write Miss Paul and Miss Coleman. And then that's like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's how the dialogue goes. Okay, good. Perfect. I really like that. Good start, guys. Ladies, let's get some more. You got to get some more dialogue going. Okay, you have to change the whole script, and y'all are. I don't see that going on right now. Let's get it done. Which part do you want me to look at now?
We're not done. I'm gonna put what is it to you.
Okay.
But we're not done.
Okay. I know you're not done. Keep one more. Okay. Hold on.
Don't make it
Yes. Why don't we just go like this? So we'll have props. We'll make our own props like this. Like a. What do you need one of those for? No. Okay. Well, let's. How about we worry mostly about the content, and we'll worry about the props later. Okay. We're not like this isn't like a week project. We're just gonna kind of get the thoughts down so that we can see how it makes our learning. Okay, well, that's gonna make it real complicated to get all of that so that everybody understands it with 2 people. So you might want to consider, you might want to think about that, okay? Areas.
It's really.
I'm gonna assist you. Okay, I'm your audience. I'm right here. Okay, tell me what it looks like. Make sure I can hear you right here. Just for me.
Just said, don't say, Naomi said it's all.
Okay, I like it. Okay.
Wait, Naomi said it's all.
One of yours. So how do y'all can't do this right here and just act it out? If you just act it out, then you don't need to make stage direction, because I'll see it. You can do it right here, and then maybe you won't have to do it.
All you gotta say is like.
Say, who are you saying that to?
I said, what?
Oh, to your email from the teacher? Just read it. Who are you? The narrator? Ooh. What do you think? How do you have that change? Which changes the theme, right? So what's the theme? Instead of it being about jealousy and envy, what is the theme now? Think before you do something, what else? There's consequences, right? Okay. So what about your new convey just changed the entire story. Right. And that's what I wanted you to see. How it ends. Just the ending. The structure, just the ending can change everything. Okay. That's good. Now I want you to write that meter so I can read it when it's time. Okay, so rewrite that on a meter page. Okay, guys, just a few more minutes, and then we're gonna have to start wrapping these up. Okay, listen up. Listen real quick. So, I'll give you some more time tomorrow. Okay. But at the end of the class, you need to be ready to answer a question about the theme. Okay. So, how does changing the ending of the story, or how does an intervention, how will that change the entire meaning? Okay. So, how does the structure contribute to the story's meaning? These guys right here, they just told me this with their new ending. All right, and it completely changed the theme, which will give the reader a whole new feeling and a whole new meaning after they've read it. Okay, and that's your goal. All right, so take a couple more minutes. Actually, don't take a couple more minutes. Go ahead and start putting this stuff away. Okay, do not lose your stories. All right. Make sure your stories have all of our annotations too. You know I'm going to collect it. If you did not get your story read and signed, then you want to do that before tomorrow, before I collect them, and then you can get those points, okay? So that'll be your third read through.
I'm not gonna be here.
You signed it on your own? Oh, good. So did you have it yesterday? Because I put it in yesterday. We'll check. Okay, we'll check tomorrow. All right, go ahead and move my desk back for me. Perfect. Good. Let's go. Let's get everything moving back. We'll finish this tomorrow. Good work, guys.
I have mine signed.
She was like,
It's okay. I'll take it. No, they're in groups. They're still in groups of 3. Okay. Good. That's a good start. No, that's a good start.
Once we get down to our
Don't put my groups in for me.
She has to reach me.
All right, come on. Come on. Come on, guys. We'll take one group right here. Thank you. Yes, sir. No, keep going.
No, it's only 3. It's only 3.
I mean, actually, yeah, you can stop.